4 or 5 guys on our team are struggling to get emotionally invested in the game. Ouch. Once again, Rick Tocchet going after his players when he feels they need a kick in the butt. Here's Mike Johnson, who played for Tocchet when he was an assistant with the Coyotes. MJ, what's your take on Tocchet's very public call-outs?
Well, I mean, I think Rick Tocchet can get away with this more than most coaches because of the person Rick Tocchet is, because of the coach he is, because of the player that he was, in that you can't go to the public call-outs too often because guys will eventually tune you out, get frustrated, and want to ignore you. But Rick Tocchet has a longer leash than most coaches because he was such an emotional player, because he was so engaged. And I know this firsthand, Gino. When I played in Arizona, he was our assistant coach. He didn't know me. He was new to the team. I was a pretty good player on that team, pretty important player. And he saw me one time after a game going onto the plane. And I was relaying a story because a fellow teammate of mine had gotten lost on the way to the plane. I had also gotten lost on the way to the plane on my very first game. I was telling him that story, like it happens sometimes, don't sweat it. And we cracked a smile at the hilarity of the story of being late for a plane. Rick Tocchet was already on the plane, saw me walking across the tarmac, just smiling after a loss, and he held that against me for like 3-4 weeks because it matters so much to him to be emotionally invested in the outcome, in your performance, with your team and your teammates. And if he doesn't think you're taking that seriously, if he doesn't think you're 100% bought in, he's got no time for you. It was a month later till we finally hashed it out. I'm like, what is my problem? What is your problem with me? And he told me about the story, and then we got on the same page, and it was all good. But this is a part of playing for talk that cannot be overstated. You have to be emotionally connected to the game, your performance, and the result. And if you do that, he's got no problem. He'll respect you. He won't get mad at you. He won't even worry about when you mess up because you care and you're emotionally involved. If you're not, you hear stuff like that privately and publicly, and he does not stand for it.
Tocchet is one intense guy, and it's worked for him during his playing days, and it's working for him now coaching. Listen, there's not much you can do about his goaltending, though. Thatcher Demko's given up 9 goals in 2 games back from his mysterious knee injury. It's clear he's going to need some more time to get his game back. How do you see the Canucks handling this? How do you want to see them do it? Do they ease him back in slowly, or do you keep throwing him out there in the fire until he figures it out?
I think it's a balance, Gino, of pushing him physically because he does need to get up and running with his timing, with his fitness, with his knee strength, while also giving him time to practice, to sharpen, to work on the skills he was not able to work on while he was out for such a long time with his knee injury. But you're right. They have to get him back up and running at somewhere near 100%. My only question for Thatcher Demko is this. I think everyone is okay if he struggles a little bit out the gate. They understand it's been a long time. There'll be some rust there. But will he be physically capable? Not technically or mentally or emotionally. We know he's going to get back there. But physically, will his knee allow him to play the same way? Or does he have to figure out what his new normal is and how to make that version of Thatcher Demko successful, because his knee can't operate the same way. Maybe he can't move quite the same. Maybe he can't have the same technique in certain situations. I think they are still in the discovery mode of that. What does his knee let him do? Once they figure that out, then they can figure out getting out the best version of Thatcher Demko with his physical limitations, if there are any, and then get him up and running to be one of the best goalies in the NHL. Because when he's right and he's healthy, there's no doubt that the Canucks have one of the top netminders in the league. They just have to figure out what that guy looks like, what his knee operates like, and can he play the same way?
This has got to be so frustrating for the entire organization because, as you say, at his best, Demko is one of the best in the league. He was top 3 in save percentage last season. If he's not at his best, the Canucks aren't going anywhere anyway, so they're just going to have to be patient and hope for the best.